This is a quick intro on how to play Category Clash, as well as how to add or change the categories in the template. To start, you can go ahead and open the Category Clash PowerPoint file. There are 3 files with different sound options: normal, low, and no sound. For the version with the scoreboard, you will have to enable macros. There is a file included in your order with tips on how to enable macros on your PC. If you are unable to use macros, you can use the version without a scoreboard and keep track of the scores manually. Once you have the file open, you can start the slideshow from the beginning. I have included an optional black slide that you can use to have the game up but not visible until you click the slide. You can delete this slide if you would rather have the game start immediately. After you start the game, there's a quick intro, and once you're at the main screen, click Play Game. The first slide lets you enter the player or team names. Simply type the names in for 2 to 6 players, and then click Play. The game starts with instructions on how to play. You will be given a list of 12 different categories along with a key letter. Players will try to come up with an answer for each category that starts with the key letter. So for example, if the first category is colors and the randomly selected letter is B, then you might write down blue. Try to write answers for as many of the 12 categories as possible before the time runs out. Only unique answers will get a point. So in our color category example, if 2 players had blue as their answer, neither would get a point. If 1 player had black as their answer, they would get 1 point. There is an optional rule you can use if you want, where players earn multiple points if they have an answer with multiple words starting with the key letter. So in that case, if a player had baby blue, they would get 2 points. Click Continue, and you can review the rules of the game with the players. Once you've gone over the instructions, click Let's Play to begin. You will see the board with the 12 categories. In the version with the scoreboard, you can click the letter button question mark to reveal a random letter, or you can click one of the letters to choose a specific letter. In the version without the scoreboard, click Start to mix up the letters, and then click Stop and Reveal to show the randomly selected letter. Once the letter is revealed, you can start the timer. There are 4 options included. The normal timer is 3 minutes, hard is 2 minutes, and expert is 1 minute. Free play allows you to have the timer as long or as short as you want. It will just continue until you end it. You can also skip the timer if you prefer. Once you start the timer, music will play in the versions with sound and the timer will spin. When the time runs out, you will get a Time's Up message. You can also just click Tally Scores to end the timer and jump to the Time's Up message. Once the time is up, you can click the Tally Scores button on the Time's Up message. The first category will be highlighted, and players should each share their answers for that category. In the version with the scoreboard, you can click the Score button to add points to any players that had a unique answer. In the version without a scoreboard, players should mark their points on their own answer card. So going back to our original example, if the first category is colors, let's say players 1 and 2 had blue, so they will not get any points. Player 3 had black, so you would give them 1 point. Let's say player 4 had baby blue. If you're playing with the optional points rule, you would give them 2 points. And then player 5 had brown and player 6 had beige, so they each get 1 point. Once you've checked all the players' answers and added their points, you can click on the second category to highlight it. Continue tallying the scores for all 12 categories. Once you're done with the scores, you will select a new letter. Each category list should be played 3 times with 3 different key letters. In the version with the scoreboard, click the letter button again and the categories will reset and a new letter will be revealed. In the version without the scoreboard, click Play again to reset the categories, then click Start and Stop to reveal a new letter. In this version, there is a chance you will get a duplicate letter. If that happens, simply click Start and Stop to get a different letter. After you've played the category list 3 times, you can go to the next list by clicking the arrow in the upper right corner in the version with the scoreboard, or the next list button in the version without the scoreboard. There are a couple other buttons to be aware of. If you need to manually change one of the player's scores, you can use the scoreboard plus and minus buttons to go up or down. You can click the Reset Scores button to reset all the scores to 0. You can click the End Game button if you want to end the game early and jump to the final scores. The game comes with 25 category lists. The initial game has 3 lists in the section called Game Categories. If you scroll to the end of the presentation, there's a section called Extra Categories with the remaining lists. To use these, simply drag or copy and paste them into the Game Categories section above. The standard game is 3 lists played 3 times each with different letters, but you can adjust the number of lists depending on how long you'd like the game to last. You can play the game as provided, or if you want to personalize or refresh the game, it is very easy to change or add category lists. Unless you're starting from the original presentation, I always recommend you reset the score to 0 before editing by going into any game slide and clicking the Reset Scores button. If you don't reset the scores, you may get an error if you try to delete a slide. To create your own category list, go to the end of the presentation where you will find a blank template slide. You can simply copy and paste the blank template slide into the Game Categories section above and then type in your 12 categories. If we play the slideshow, you can see the new categories appear. You'd also have the option to simply edit the existing categories as well, rather than copying and pasting a new slide. The game comes with both digital and printable answer cards. There are 2 digital PDF versions, one with 3 rounds per page in a horizontal format and one with 1 round per page in a vertical format. These files were created for a PC with Adobe Reader, but it should work on most other devices, although mobile devices can be trickier to type on. Due to the differences in devices, settings, and programs, I can't guarantee it will work in every situation, so I recommend you send the cards in advance so players can confirm that they will work on their device or use the printable version instead. After opening the file, the main scoreboard comes up. If you are using the PowerPoint version with the scoreboard, you can tell players not to worry about typing in their scores. But if you're using the version without a scoreboard, you should ask players to keep track of their own scores using the scorecard. In the version with 3 rounds per page, players can click on the list name to jump to the answer card or scroll through the PDF. So if you click on List 1, it will jump to the List 1 answer card. After the categories and key letter are revealed, players can type in their answers for the first round. Once the round is over, they can type in their scores if you're using the version without a scoreboard, and then put the total at the bottom. They will continue using this card for the remaining 2 rounds. They can then add up their numbers, click to jump back to the scorecard, and type in their grand total for List 1. They can then click on List 2 to jump to that answer card, and the game will continue. The version with 1 round per page works the same way, but instead of clicking on list names, you will click on the round name. Once the round is done, jump back to the scorecard, enter the total for that round, and then click the next round name. Although the standard game is 3 category lists, I have included answer cards for 5 category lists so that you can have the option to play a longer game if you choose. The printable PDFs are letter size, 8.5 by 11, in black and white, and have 2 cards per page. You can either cut them in half or provide them as is, depending on how many lists you plan to do. So I hope this demo was helpful. Please feel free to contact me through my Etsy store if you have any questions on how to play. I would also love to hear any feedback you have on your experience playing Category Clash. I hope you enjoy the game.